Luke's one of them.
Paul.
You guys don't even know my first name, do you? Hello, it's Matthew. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Everybody say that.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Yes, Father Stan would really appreciate it if you guys knew those big four. Yes? How about that? My mom and dad had planned to have a whole bunch of kids, and I was going to be the first boy, and I was going to be Matthew, and I was going to have a brother, Mark, and brother Luke, and brother John, but I ended up with two sisters. Oh well. And they decided not to name her John or Luke. I don't know. Could have gotten away with it. How about this one? The seasons. This one's easy. What season are we in now? Fall, followed by spring and summer. Winter, spring, summer, fall. How about this one? The directions on a compass rose. You guys learned this like and you remember that because it's never eat soggy waffles, north, south, east, west. That's right there. How about this one? This one you probably don't know, but you maybe learn someday. It's kind of science, but it's more kind of history now. I gauge. So back in the old days, they talked about the Greeks, way long time ago, at the very beginning of science, they thought the world was only made up of four things. Everything in the world is made up of these four things: earth, air, fire, and water. Turns out the world's made up of a lot more things than that. But if you think about it, it kind of makes sense, right? Fire's different than water, water's different than earth, earth's different than air. Now we know that the air has lots of different gases and the earth has lots of different chemicals. But back then, they thought these are the four big things. So they talk about the four big elements. How about this one? 4 Ninja Turtles. I'll admit, I had to look these up. Yeah?
Leonardo.
They're real names. You know, well, they're yeah, they're real.
Leonardo. Raphael.
Yeah? Yeah? Ooh, you got it. I couldn't remember Leonardo. I'm like, man, I know I'm missing one because I've got 1, 2, 3, and I'm doing everything for one more. The 4 major U.S. sports. Now, unfortunately, you know how much I like sporting. Soccer doesn't make this list. When they talk about the 4 major sports, what are the 4 major sports, Mike? Yeah?
Baseball.
Baseball, yeah?
Golf.
Not golf.
Basketball.
Basketball, what's the fourth one? Nope.
Hockey.
Hockey, that's the 4 big ones. So when they talk about the 4 U.S. sports. So,
The Beatles. John Paul George. John Paul George.
don't give it away, because it's important that you recognize these people too. Okay, so the Beatles, okay? The Beatles, what do they call the Beatles? They've got a name. They call them the Fab. They call them the Fab Four. So there we go again with the 4 thing over and over again. Which Beatles is it? Anybody know?
George.
Who is it? That's John. And they almost always go in this order. I don't know why. That's John, and that's
George.
nope.
Paul.
Paul. John and Paul, the 2 main singers. So some songs are like John songs, those are usually the weird ones, and then there's the Paul songs, which are usually the nice ones. And then that's George, lead guitar player, and finally the last one is
Ringo.
Ringo. Can you guys see that? And Ringo is the
Drummer.
drummer. What am I going to do with these? Okay, so when I teach drum lessons, I tell people all the time, what are you doing when you play drums? When you're playing drums, you're counting by 4. Almost everything you do in music is grouped in groups of 4. This is what I want to show you real quick. And then I promise we're going to talk about putting these 4 together. Upstairs, we did skip counting by 4s. When you're skip counting by 4s, what are you really doing?
Counting by 4s.
You're multiplying, right? Multiplying is just an easier way to count by 4. If you had to count everything by 4 by going 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 12, 16, you could do it and you could get right answers. But it would take you forever, and I think that this is important. Sometimes I think students think we're teaching them stuff to make their life harder. Guess what? Multiplication is not being taught to you to make your life harder. It's to make things a lot easier. When you can think of things in groups and multiply that way, it's going to make a lot more sense to you as you go along, because you're going to do a lot less work. Thank you for that. Awesome. So here's what drummers think about. At the beginning of every song, what does a drummer do? 1, 2, 3, 4. He never says 5, right? It's always 1, 2, 3, 4, because everything's in groups of 4. When you listen to music, you're going to hear this all the time. Everything you listen to, almost always, you're going to hear 1 this way, and 2 3 this way and 4 this way. So it goes. Count with me. 1, 2, 3. Do we go to 5 now? Go back to 1. Again. And almost everything we do is in those groups of 4. Also, inside that, every time I do this, I'm going to hit this thing twice. There's 2. And every time I hit this, I'm going to hit this thing twice. And 2 plus 2 equals 4. So listen, here's 4. Hear that? 4 up here, 2 down here. Now here we go. Count with me. 1, 2, 3. It's just a hole. Sorry. This is a pedal back here that I'm looking like. But here we go. Count with me again out loud. 1, 2, ready. Here we go. We got 3, 4. We don't go to 5. We go back to 1, 3. We go third time. 1, 2, 3. We go the fourth time. 1, 3, 4. Now, I could count all the way up to 16, but I don't. I multiply. I'm going a group of 4 times. And what does that equal? 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. That takes a long time. If you know, it's 16 because it's 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. And then we put that and turn that into a group of 1. So it's 1. Now I'm treating that whole group of 16, 4 times 4, is 1 thing. And then I do it again. 2. Now, as I'm playing the whole song, I've got verses and choruses, and I'm going to play you an example of one. All the time when I'm thinking, if I had to think about every single note, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, by the time I got halfway through the song, I'd be like 259, 260, 261, 260. Oh, I lost my place. My brain would be so full I couldn't even function, right? So instead, I'm thinking in these big groups of 4. So, really quick, so we go from the Beatles there. Okay, so this I think is a perfect Beatles song. It was the very first Beatles song that got famous. The first one that got on the radio. It's called Please Be Here. Okay, so here it goes. Count along with me. You can hear the introduction here. Now count with me. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2. Again. We'll start over again. So it's all groups of 4. So here's a challenge. Listen to every music you can find. How many know if you ever hear a song on the radio that isn't in groups of 4? It's happened a few times in history. Not very often. Almost everything you listen to.
I play music that's not in groups of 4.
Really?
Nature's that are like 3 on 4.
Sometimes there are songs in 3, very rare. Sometimes there are songs in groups of 5 or groups of 6, but it's very rare. Almost always.
Songs in groups of 2 on 4 and 1 on 4.
Yeah, almost always it's groups of 4. But I want to teach you a little, here we go. I want you to sing with me because we're going to learn to rap. Okay, so here's the times 4 rap. You ready? You ready to sing? Here we go. 4 times 1 equals 4. 4 times 2 equals 8. 4 times 3 everybody good? How about this time, instead of me singing, we all. Yeah, you can feel the wind coming out there. Sorry. Hey, what do you see in that rapid stuff? Yeah.
Have you played any music that's different than the one or maybe?
I have, but not very often.